We are going to really dive in deep today. We are going over a lot of different stuff. Just so I can get an idea of where all you guys are, I would love to just hear what type of photography you do, if it's weddings, and that kind of thing. So if we could just go right down, that would be awesome. Iris?
I do shoot weddings. And in fact, I've got an engagement session after the class today.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I haven't shot any weddings at this point. I do event photography.
Perfect.
I do shoot weddings as well as musicians in my hometown.
I shoot weddings and families also.
I primarily shoot events of all kinds, sprinkle in a couple weddings, and just portraiture and landscape and architecture.
Great. Fantastic. So we do have you guys either doing weddings or events, and that is primarily what this course is going to highlight on. Rob and I do weddings solely, so we are going to reference weddings throughout the workshop today. However, this process can be applied for any type of photography. If you're doing just families or just just portraits and not necessarily events, no, you won't get this done in the hour session that you have. However, it will show you a workflow to get it done very quickly afterwards, and then an entire marketing flow from that. So we are going to talk about what I do on the same day of the wedding, so same day slideshow album, all sorts of fun stuff. But what's really valuable about it is not even necessarily wowing your clients with all of this, but getting a workflow that flows for you, that maximizes SEO, that is effortless, that costs really little to no money at all in order to implement, and what it does for your business from there. I don't do really any traditional advertising. I cancel my subscription with The Knot. I do use actually, SnapKnot is a different online source for photographers to be able to advertise, and I use them, but I'll show you why later. They're not the traditional, wedding list, and you get a million, wedding photographers in your area that are advertising on the same spot. But this process has allowed me to grow my business. I was doing it in my first year of business, not quite to the extent I am now, but still with the same type of same-day slideshow. And I was able to go from absolutely 0 weddings a year to booking 19 of my own weddings in 1 year. So my very first year of business, 19 weddings, and then the one after that, I believe was 40, and the one after that was 35. So I was able to just grow my business like that without spending money on advertising, but by using this concept, word of mouth, and on top of it, I've been able to actually have a life, because a lot of the work that most of us spend, or a lot of the time that most of us spend doing the work post-wedding, I get done the night of. So Monday, I have a lot less work to do. I can focus on things around the house. I can focus on my marriage, my family, and spend time doing stuff like that instead of, sitting behind my computer. So I'm really excited to give you guys both a marketing idea that will be successful when you implement it, as well as free up a little bit of your life so that you can spend it doing other things, things that you enjoy.
I can almost see it being used as for corporate events too. If you do any sort of
yeah.
corporate photography and you want to take it to a larger scale and provide, maybe you have a printer with photo strips, you can do this for a mass audience too. So if there's 40 or 50 people at this conference and you're shooting the conference, you could offer the attendees some sort of a gift at the end. The same workflow would apply with some minor tweaks. This is really cool.
Yeah, so use this, apply it to however you can apply it, and most of all, just take the marketing and the workflow tactics from it as well. You're going to see a drastic improvement in your business and your lifestyle. Right. So let's go ahead and get started. So this is what I sort of based the program on. The idea that which bridesmaid is going to be your next bride, right? You're sitting down, you're at a wedding. Yeah, you're focusing on the bride, obviously. But the truth of the matter is that when you are at a wedding, you are sitting there in your prime target market. It's your demographic that you want to reach. It's tons of women, and yeah, sure, the men too, but mostly the women who are planning these weddings. Between the ages of 22 and 28 is usually your prime target audience, and most of the bridesmaids tend to fall into that category. And even if they're married, they'll probably get remarried. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no. We're supposed to be supportive of marriage. Let's not talk about
I know.
the
No.
D word here.
I didn't say the D word.
No, but you also have this element of, friends sort of all go through these life events around the same time. So they, you might have bridesmaids who are already getting engaged or might be engaged and haven't yet started planning their wedding, and then maybe they don't want to do that. They overshadow their friend's wedding kind of thing, so they might be waiting till that wedding's over. So yeah, you've got this real niche audience, just captive, right?
And not even necessarily just the bridesmaids, but all the other guests at the wedding. Like Rob said, you kind of have that group of friends where you go through these things of life together.
Yeah.
And all of those people that you want to reach are at the wedding. So how can you get those bridesmaids, those guests, all those women in that audience to remember you? And one of the things that I hope that all of you guys are doing, regardless of, separate from this, is I hope that you're keeping track of your lead source report. Where are you getting your business from? Where are you getting your leads from? And that's something that I analyzed, and I use a program called TAVE, T-A-V-E. It's our client management software. So it's fantastic. But I took a look, and this is our lead source report, and I took a look at what works. I need to know what's working. What types of marketing are actually working for me? There's really no comparison here. It's not even close. Previous client, which is word of mouth. If it came in from some other source, it's on there. It's not even a competition. Even Rob doesn't compete.
Yeah.
So word of mouth is the strongest thing that drives business in my door. It's your previous clients talking about you. However, other things to not ignore here are your vendors talking about you. Obviously, Rob is my husband, so we have a pretty good vendor relationship here.
Sometimes. I'm a vendor. Is that what you think of me? I'm a vendor now?
Well, you are a vendor.
Okay.
A little bit.
According to this graph, I'm a vendor.
No, you have your own separate, see, Rob Adams.
No, I know that.
You have your separate section. But below that, we have referral, and then you can see some other ones on there. My BC, my K English, Kim from the Palace, generic vendor. They're all on there. These are the top 20 in my report. So vendors talking about you is definitely significant as well. It's all word of mouth, as well as referrals, friends, my friends. How do I make sure that the people around me who are getting married know that, hey, I'm a wedding photographer? So these are all different types of word of mouth, whether it's the clients talking about you, it's the vendors talking about you, it's your friends talking about you. These are the things that actually work. On top of that, we also have Google searches here. So Google search, your SEO, definitely very important. I do get income from that, as well as online networks like Snapwire, WeddingWire, that kind of thing. Those are all on there. So the idea is that you can get word of mouth, SEO, online networks, all of that works for your business. All of it is optimized through the same day edit. So you know what works for you, and then through the same day edit, we are going to take all of those things and make sure that we are actively working on them. And it doesn't have to take a lot of time. Just do it the night of the wedding. One of my goals, I guess, or concepts is that I'm getting paid to be at the wedding, right? I have to be at the wedding. I gotta be there. So while I'm there, while I have to be working, I need to be as efficient as I possibly can, right? Do as much as you can there. And so if I can do my SEO, my word of mouth, working with my online networks and all those sorts of things, while I'm already getting paid for being at the wedding, it's just a huge plus. So what I would like to do, I want to go on the internet and into our chat rooms and take a little poll. So in the chat rooms, we can get ready for that. I want to know how all of you create word of mouth with your previous clients. So I think word of mouth is definitely something that's in everyone's business, and I want to know how you create word of mouth in your business. Because I've got my idea here, and we'll talk about that, but I also want to give the opportunity for all of us to share what we do for word of mouth and how we get people talking about us and get them in our door. So what we'll do is we'll start with our audience here. Why don't we start on Jared's side this time, since Iris has had to go first every time. So what are some things that you do to promote word of mouth in your business?
One of the easy things is just little value-added surprises. So for instance, after an engagement session, especially if we're doing the wedding, we'll go ahead and give the bride and groom 3 best shots that we had chosen and put that in something that's perfectly formatted for a Facebook cover. and then it'll just say, rogersglobal.com right down in the bottom. So just giving them those little extra things that has, our branding on it is something that they can be excited about, yet still, promotes the business.
I love that. Surprises. Keep that in mind. I like that. Go ahead, Carly.
I kind of have the same thing. I mean, I really try and create an amazing experience for my brides and their fiancés throughout the entire process, and obviously surprises, I guess. I mail out a thank you card after an engagement session. I give them a welcome packet just to make sure that they feel really secure and happy with what they're getting, and then a week before the wedding, we mail out like a Starbucks gift card or something, just say, go take a day off from the wedding before you go. And so just these little
I love
things.
that. Yeah, creating
Brilliant.
a customer experience is huge. That
Absolutely.
will definitely get people talking about you. And awesome. Go ahead, Anna.
Yeah, one of the things that I do on the actual day of the wedding is I'll play a slideshow, next to my stack of business cards that has photos from the engagement session and the bridal session on it, because their bridal party and their guests and their friends see me there and I'm working and I'm interacting with them, but the other half of them being drawn to me is seeing my final product. So obviously, since they're not seeing the wedding pictures right then, I at least have something from the previous sessions to show them, so they get the pairing of, this is me and this is how I work, but this is my deliverable. So
Love that. Yeah. So showing off not the wedding pictures, but the engagement session, the bridal session, that kind of thing. Definitely effective.
I suppose almost all my business comes from word of mouth, and it's mainly, I guess, being involved in the creative process with the client from the get-go. Now, I don't have as much experience on the photography side. It's mainly on the corporate video side, but that's how I get them to tell their other, their friends, their other colleagues and stuff about what I do. It's just being intimately involved from start to finish on the creative, so that when we get to the shoot, they're very happy with what's done.
That's awesome. Just building that client-vendor relationship. That's absolutely huge. Great. Iris?
I'm trying to work on my social media, so, definitely do the Facebook and post photos up and try to encourage them to share. But I'm not very consistent right now, and I'm on Twitter, but not so good at that.
Well, because it's a lot. Keeping up with social media, especially since every 3 seconds there's a new social media outlet to be a part of and do, right? Anyone else have that kind of stress every time someone's like, oh my gosh, have you heard of Loverly? Have you heard of, no, I haven't, and I don't want to. But social media is a powerful tool. So you definitely want to use it, but you don't want to spend all of your time using it. So do we have any people online that would like to share their word-of-mouth tactics?
Yeah, a couple people have been great in sharing what they already do. Ryan M. Pearson says, make an impression that puts everyone at ease, not only to your bride, but the attendees, family, and wedding party. Everyone is nervous about having their picture taken. If you can mitigate that fear with a joke, then things will go a lot smoother at the wedding and post afterwards.
Perfect. That's so great.
Having a bedside manner that's just very warm and comfortable. Yeah, that's great.
Huge.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Arson Photo says that they post photos that night of the wedding on Facebook and create a Facebook banner.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Very good.
Smart.
We'll talk about that. Yeah. Perfect. So we have lots of different ideas, and I'm glad that we were able to share them all. One of the biggest consensus, I think, with all of those, and something that ties them together, would be how you're interacting with your clients. Because your clients are the ones that are going to talk about you, and they'll talk about you one way or the other. They're either going to say great things about you, bad things about you, or what I think might be worse, average things about you.
Indifference. Yeah.
Indifference. So our goal is obviously to create positive word of mouth, and a lot of it. So just a little side note, because I did want to we talked a little bit about how you stay on top of social media, because, wow, that's a lot. So social media, how much time do you guys spend on social media? I know, it's hard to keep on, I would say 20 hours a month maybe on social media. Maybe that's an average-ish. but you probably spend a lot of time on social media, right? It takes up a lot of your time during the week, and unfortunately, it'll distract you during the week while you're trying to actually work. I mean, I know that's probably happened, like, oh, let me just do some stuff, I'll post on Facebook, you know, I'm working here, and then something distracts you, and an hour later, you're still there. It's like, darn Pinterest. So you spend a lot of work. So Pinterest. You know, I think I've said that once before, and I should invent a new social media site. So Pinterest, Instagram, and Twitter, as well. Twitter, yeah, as well as Facebook. But also, how many of you guys are listed even on like those free sites? Like Wedding Wire will allow you a free listing, or maybe you got a trial listing at like SnapKnot. Have you guys ever gone to your own listing and you look and you realize those pictures are like 3 years old? Yeah, and it's like, wow, that is not accurately representing me at all. Then what's even worse is if you're paying for it and you're like paying to not advertise yourself the way that you want to and put your best foot forward. So all of that stuff, topped with working on SEO, like think about how much time you spend doing all of that stuff, and how much would you like to not spend any extra time doing all of that stuff. I wanted to point this out. So this is one of my photos that was on Pinterest, and it trended on Pinterest. It was fantastic. I was really happy about it. 312 repins, 145 likes. I thought that was pretty good. I did not do that. I did not pin that. I did not do anything with that. What's really important about this, and why I'm mentioning it, is you can only do so much. Even if with your assistant, night of the wedding, you can only do so much. What you want to make sure that you do is, if you are paying for some form of advertising, make sure that you're aligning yourself with a corporation or a photographer listing page that is working for you, that has your best interest in mind. SnapKnot, and this is one of the biggest reasons why I decided to cancel the Knot but go with SnapKnot. It's just snapknot.com. They did this for me. They pin pictures for us. They have a ton of followers on Pinterest. They pin pictures for us and tag us. You can see our little tags in there and hashtags and everything else. And they do this for me. So one of the reasons why I really like them, if you are going to pay with paid advertising, and this is the most I'm going to say about paid advertising, make sure that you are going with somebody that has your best interest in mind and that's doing something extra for you, not just paying for your little half an inch on their website. Do work with people that are going to work for you and not just take your money. So definitely something to talk about. So same-day edits. It is my opinion that there's nothing better that you can do for your business than to do your best work and let everyone see it. If you do your best work and you hide your little light under a bushel, it's not going to be very effective. I think we all know that. We always want to get our best work seen. So how do we do that? I do it through a same-day edit. So traditionally, a same-day edit is a slideshow, essentially, played at the reception. This is the traditional view of it. That's been around for years. I learned that first from David J. He's the one who inspired me to do my first little slideshow. Great inspiration of mine early on. However, for me, I've got a whole little list of what a same-day edit means to me. Yes, I do play a slideshow presented at the reception. I also do a same-day album that I give them at the reception. I upload the photos to Facebook, and I tag the bride, the groom, as many bridesmaids and groomsmen as I can, the moms, vendors, reception halls, everyone. I create an online gallery so that my clients can have an online gallery to look at, and so that their guests have pictures they can look at right away and potentially purchase. I create an Animoto slideshow, so an online photo slideshow. My blog post is about 95% finished. All the photos are there, all the vendor listings are there, all of the hyperlinks from the vendors to their pages are there. The only thing I have to do is write my little paragraph about how lovely the wedding was. I'm horrible. I'm a photographer, I'm not a writer, so that part, like, it's one paragraph, but it just dreads me. It's like, I really love the wedding, but I only have like 3 adjectives that I know.
How many times do you say amazing couple?
Right. It's like, I know.
Gorgeous wedding.
Amazing, great, and amazing.
It's
That's all
like you're
I got.
reading old like film critic articles to get inspiration, like
Right.
outstanding, spectacular 3 stars, you know.
Anyway, so that's the last 5% that I have to do. But all this is done the night of the wedding. In addition, my photos are already ready or already submitted for publication to major blogs and magazines. And I already have all of my second photographer's photos acquired right away and backed up. That's not even on the list. So all the same day edit, that is a same day edit. In here, I'm wowing my clients. I'm promoting word of mouth. I am doing my SEO, I'm doing my Facebook, and I'm fulfilling products for my clients as well. Working on credibility by getting published somewhere, and I have all my second photographer photos so that I'm not waiting a week for him or her to send me a DVD or something like that. So that is what we're gonna do today. Crazy, crazy
It's
lot
a tremendous
of stuff.
amount of work, it really is. I mean, and that would take up all of Monday if you just left that for Monday.
Mm-hmm.
And Monday, after working maybe 2 weddings on a weekend, you want to relax, man.
I call that Martini Monday.
Martini Monday. Yes.
Martini and Massage Monday.
Yes. Yeah, so yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so it is so much more than a slideshow, and I'm going to show you that it works and why and how it works. So the first part of this, and actually Anna hit on it before, is that it's relevant marketing. So when Anna goes and she has a slideshow, no, it's not the wedding pictures, but it's the actual couple. It means so much more when marketing is relevant. So the wow factor is there. The holy crap, I can't believe you just handed me an album the night of my wedding. Even the pictures, I can't believe that these pictures are up here. They're on Facebook. I have guests coming up to my brides. Did you see your pictures on Facebook? Holding up their mobile phones so they could see all their pictures. They go crazy. They absolutely love it. Rob actually, if you're doing video, Rob actually does something similar. It's not a full same-day edit where it's displayed and projected and the audio and everything like that. He does offer that, but what we find is actually more effective than that is doing just a visual loop of shots, 20 video shots, 3 seconds each, whatever it might be.
Started out even less than that. Started out like 5 video shots. We call it the looper. And just 5 video shots. I wasn't even color correcting them. I was just putting them out there and just to test the waters because I'd gotten a brand new laptop, MacBook. Wanted to see the power of it, so I, right on the wedding during cocktail hour, just strung them together, and then I just put it on a loop in QuickTime, just let it play over and over again. And I noticed that there was a crowd of people standing over watching it. I was like, wow, that's powerful. And yeah, so we put them out side by side.
Photos and video when we work together, and it's fantastic. There's no greater thing that you can see on a wedding, I think, than 20 to 30 people like hovered around your stuff. And then you watch those 20 to 30 people leave and go talk about you for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
So.
Not that we're not trying to overshadow the couple.
Oh,
I mean,
no.
Obviously we do this very subtly, and when people are doing that, they like it because it becomes another form of entertainment, sort of a side note. It's like a sideshow, and then they go back to partying and dancing, and while they're on the dance floor, they're saying, "Wow, did you see that slideshow?" So it kind of carries over into the party, and then a new group comes out.
Yeah. And the idea is that it teaches others to talk about you. Do we have questions?
Awesome. Actually, yeah.
Okay.
Johar and I are over here going, oh my gosh, how do you do all of this in one day? Because we're like, like at a wedding or whatever, we're just like, how do you do it? This is going to be amazing. So we are super excited about this. And there are quite a few other people in the chat rooms that are excited too. But seriously, I'm really excited to learn like how many minutes you can do this in at the wedding or after the wedding. How late do you stay up?
Yeah.
That's like the questions.
Oh no, we have a beer after the wedding. I don't do any work after the wedding.
No.
All right, so like we were saying, what this is it teaches others to talk about you. Yes, it's fantastic to do the full same day edit if you're doing video with the audio and it plays once and it wows everybody, but then there's no reason to really talk about it anymore because everyone has seen it.
But even that, I'll show it, and then while we're packing up our gear, because we're pretty much done after that, I'll put it out on the laptop anyway.
Because that's more effective.
Mute the sound and just let that loop, so at least, because it is, people will go over and are curious to see it again. What do people always look for themselves, like when they see a video?
We'll get to that.
Yeah, so it's like they want to kind of go, was I in that? Let me take a business card. Maybe I'll find it on the website later on. So.
Yeah, so this method really teaches others to talk about you. I just have a small digital picture frame that I use, and people are just coming to it all night and then going around and talking to other people about it. So it's really a very effective way to get other people to talk about you, starting the night of the wedding, and then it continues. So we're talking about it being relevant. So the reason why it's so relevant, if you have a piece of advertising, maybe a print ad or, I don't know, a picture up in a wedding planner's studio or an album at a reception hall, yes, it's good advertising, but it's not advertising that's relevant to the client who's looking at it. And it's not relevant because normally they don't know that couple. So when you show them pictures, you're advertising because it's your work, but you're showing them pictures of somebody that they know, it's then relevant to them. They know these people, they're emotionally invested in that photograph then, and it's so much more powerful that way than if they're just looking at a photograph, no matter how beautiful it is, of somebody that they don't know. So it is free advertising that is relevant to your guests, the guests at the wedding. It definitely makes an impact. I think that your pictures are better than they really are if they're the first that everyone sees, right? You want to get them on that emotional high. If your pictures are the first that the couple sees, that anyone sees at the reception, they're going to have a higher emotional impact and they're going to be better than they really are. You ever have one of like a bad day at a wedding? You know, bad day, quote unquote. An off day. That'd be better.
You're not firing on every cylinder. It happens, you know?
You know, it happens. And maybe your pictures are not exactly what you thought they could have been, or, you know, you just have one of those days. If you get those pictures to your clients fast, like we do at the night of the wedding, they're floored. They're completely happy and floored anyway. And it's because you're reaching them at that higher emotional impact and that level of excitement and intensity at that time.
Same thing with the video. That's why I don't feel like I have to be a perfectionist with that, because they're just going to be blown away that they're actually seeing video that day.
And obviously, this is not to say, you know, just throw like your crappy photographs at them. We do actually edit them in a fast manner that, you know, they're beautifully polished photographs, and usually the ones that they end up hanging on their walls or putting in their albums. So, also, speed equals quality. I'm sure you guys at one point or another have had to wait for something that you've wanted, right? And you're really excited about it at first, but then when it just like took longer and it's later, it's just not that exciting anymore, you know? So speed really does translate to quality. That's one of the things I know Rob has been working on. The typical, at least from our experience in New Jersey, the typical videographer time frame from the wedding until they get their video is roughly
9 months to a year.
9 months to a year.
Some run shorter than that. For a long time, I ran like a 6 to 8 month turnaround, and it's almost acceptable. And brides have just gotten used to it. But we've been striving for like a 4 to 5 month on average turnaround, which is not bad considering we did 25 weddings a year. We did 32 last year actually. So.
Yeah, and that, when the sooner that you started delivering the videos to the client, the happier they were.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, over the years you get better at your craft, so there is better work. But it's because of the speed, a lot of times, the speed of delivery, that means quality to your client.
And speed equals quality as long as there's quality in that product that you're giving speedily. You don't want to just give crap fast. You know,
yes.
Give something good fast.
Exactly. This also helps you build vendor relationships, because on top of the bride and groom wanting these pictures, the florist wants those pictures, the hair and the makeup artist wants the pictures, the reception hall wants those pictures. Everyone wants these pictures. A lot of times I feel like in our own minds we devalue our photography just because we're used to it. You know, yeah, these pictures, that's what I should be taking, and you know, they're just pictures. But to everybody else, those are amazing pictures. They can't take pictures like that. You can take pictures like that. So this has helped me build my vendor relationships by getting these photos that are quickly turned around, and then I can send to all the vendors and help them promote me as well. So these are all things that help you promote that instant gratification, that speed, obviously Facebook marketing, Pinterest, and then like Jared talked about, it opens the door for surprises. Little things that you can do. It just makes surprises so much easier to do. So surprises, mine would be the same day album. I used to give my clients a keychain, a little digital keychain, and that was my little surprise to them. So definitely helps out in that aspect, and it allows you to start delivering all of your products sooner. I've had clients with their albums, you know, 3 months after their wedding, very, very quickly, because having the same day edit and the way that I photograph and what I photograph specifically to put in the same day edit, I do it intentionally so that it can fulfill these things faster. So their thank you card designs that I give them, that's a form of marketing I do. I give them their free thank you card designs, and I just throw my logo on it. Their thank you card designs, their proof books, their wedding albums all get done a lot faster than they normally do. And then everything is also publication ready. So I'm going to show you guys how to take the right pictures so that your same day edit pictures can be directly what you send to all the publication submissions that you want to do. So the work is already done there. The one thing I will note here, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, is that details are the key. Details are the key. Whenever you look on a blog or in a magazine, you see details. You see maybe one photo of the bride and groom or one photo of the entire bridal party. But the details is what everyone focuses on, because brides buy magazines and look on blogs for details. That's why
inspiration.
Pinterest
It's
is so
all about
popular.
inspiration. They know what a bride and groom look like.
Right.
Like the dress is considered a source of inspiration too. So you'll see one photo of the bride maybe alone in her dress and stuff, but yeah, it's mostly details. Overall room shots, table settings, centerpieces, and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff too.
All the fun stuff. It is fun stuff. So I upload on the night of the wedding to 2 Bright Lights. 2 Bright Lights is a website that has just simplified the whole process of submitting to blogs and magazines for publication. You guys see some nodding, some writing frantically. So because some have heard of 2 Bright Lights, some have not. If you haven't heard of them, definitely check them out. It just has done wonders, and I will show you specifically what it is that it's done for my business. Not every editor, not every publication is on 2 Bright Lights. So what I do is after I blog, and I'll show you how I write my blog very specifically, I email my blog link from that wedding to editors that are not on 2 Bright Lights. And the result is more than half of what I submit is published. I would say actually roughly 60 to 70% of my overall wedding work is published somewhere. And that's great, because my brides love that. What bride is not going to be like freaking out over the fact that she's in a magazine or she's on Style Me Pretty or something? But I don't spend a ton of time doing that. It's all in the same day edit workflow. It's funny, actually, the very first time I ever submitted for publications, I hired my friend, and she was great. She's a very detail organized person. But I had hired her. I had made contact sheets of the weddings I wanted to submit. What ended up coming to like 500 pages worth of paper that I was sending out, I think maybe to 10 to 15 publications, and emailing them in like a FedEx envelope with my contact information, with the DVD of all the pictures and the contact sheets. And it was like a huge and expensive production. It doesn't have to be that way anymore, thank God, because I don't think I would find the time to do that anymore. Getting published adds credibility to your work. So when you can put on your website or your blog or Facebook or whatever it is, hey, I was published here, I'm published here, it adds credibility to your work for the clients.
A simple as seen in segment, not that we're trying to make ourselves seem more grandiose, but at the same time it does
it's
put
credibility.
you on a different level than, it
builds trust.
Builds trust, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it builds trust and credibility. And there is a ton of less work on Monday. So again, like I mentioned before, the second photographer photos, the blogging, the Facebook marketing, the online gallery, the slideshow, and submitting for publication, all done on the night of the wedding. So your Monday work, gone.